Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Woo, 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 woo. Today has been a whirlwind day, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate you guys joining me today, guys. But there's a reason why I got the hat on, the tinfoil hat, because I've got a great many things to share with you guys today. I feel like I've been through a storm. I feel like I was in purgatory for the last 24 hours. In fact, the only thing I could think of in my head is a biblical scripture. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow and death, I will fear no evil, ladies and gentlemen, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I and all of you will need protection as we evaluate, analyze, and listen to the jail calls that STERNS and his parents participated in last year in the month of June and I believe July, even May. The things you will hear STERNS say will rock you to the core of your soul. The things that you will hear Deborah STERNS say from her lips will break your heart. You guys know when I put the tinfoil hat on, it's not just about conspiracies. It's about protecting me from lies. This is my lie detector hat. It's about keeping those evil energies away from me. You can't watch the next few series of shows because it's going to be more than one show. There's 13 jail calls. The most we'll probably be able to do is 2 or 3 calls per show. So we're looking at a 3 to 6 part series on this. There's no way else to do it because we're analyzing it. We're not just listening to it through. We're going to talk about it. There's no way you could listen to these calls and not understand why we're at where we're at right now. When you listen to the way that STERNS speaks to his parents and how his parents speak to him, the lack of accountability, you'll understand why Maddie's gone. It'll make perfect sense. It makes sense. A man-child coddled and held to no levels, no standards of accountability his entire life is the exact archetype of a person that would do what he did to Maddie. To listen to Deborah STERNS say, well, maybe it was Maddie's time to die, to go, breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Oh, hell no! Maddie deserved better. We deserve better. That should have never happened, ladies and gentlemen. Should have never happened. I was going to clip the phone calls and kind of like focus on the most probative things, but I've decided I'm not going to do that. I don't know because I was just kind of fishing through it when I was listening to it on the docket and on Plunder. I decided I'm just going to play them through. But there are notable things we're going to see here. One of those things, one of the most powerful things, and we'll get to it when we get to it, but I'm just going to talk about it very briefly, and then I'm going to qualify myself, as you know we have to do so that the show is monetized. STERNS put itself as the last person to see Maddie alive and the first person to discover her unalived. That's huge. It doesn't matter whether he admits to actually unaliving her or not. From a law enforcement perspective, this is something that we look for as a pivotal part of an interview, or even a partial confession, is putting yourself with the victim. And that's what STERNS did. That was a big blunder on his part. Now I know that his attorneys watch the show, and even he watches the show, or maybe people are telling him what's said on the show. Why? Because they mentioned me inside of the court hearing today as one of the reasons why the courtroom should be closed off to the media, because notable shows like True Crime with Strategic Eyes is covering it, putting that fire under Stephen STERNS' booty cheeks. Yeah, we're here, baby. Big shout out to those attorneys. Like I said to you guys 1,000 times, don't hate the defense attorneys. If you do, you're ignorant. Defense attorneys are doing their job. They are the most important part of our constitutional government. Most important part of the criminal justice system. The Constitution doesn't say nothing about prosecutors, but it says something about the right to have a defense attorneys. So I'm not saying that because they said my name. That would just be juvenile. I'm saying that because I always believe that, and I've always said that on this show. Never, ever, ever look down on defense attorneys. Look at them as heroes, because when they give a good defense to a defendant and we find that defendant guilty, we know that the system worked. I'm gonna have to put this on pause because they're like going crazy in the chat, in our group chat. Oh boy. Sorry. They're going crazy in the chat and they forget that when we're live, it's only supposed to be used for emergencies because it interrupts the show. So let me go ahead and just silence this real quick because I can't concentrate. So anyway, let's get started. What I said is he put himself with Maddie, and that was huge. He said that he discovered her at dawn, cold, with lips blue. Horrible stuff. And he said some very incriminating things about Jen as well, that Jen knew. That Jen and Maddie would together fawn over him and compliment him and talk about him. And then remember one of the interviews that was done by one of his ex-girlfriends where she said that he would come out of the shower naked in front of Maddie and Jen together, laying in the bed. Sick stuff, guys. Sick stuff. So anyway, we got to get into this, guys. Real quick, let me qualify myself. For anybody who's new to the channel, I'm not qualifying myself because I want to boast about my experience. I have to tell my experience so that YouTube understands that this video is being done for educational purposes. So ladies and gentlemen, number one, for the YouTube gods out there, this video is being done for educational purposes only with a little bit of an entertainment factor. That's why we got the hat on the head. But this one is primarily for educational purposes. We are not going over this so that people could find joy and smiles and laughter in this subject matter. There are times that we will say some jokes because I have a dark humor. I've been doing this for a very long time, and therefore you develop a bit of a dark humor. That might be a little bit of a coping mechanism for the people who are in my line of work, but primarily we're here for educational purposes. What gives me the ability to say that the things that I'm going through is to educate you is that I have almost 18 and a half years of experience in law enforcement. Much of my adult life since 23, 24 years old has been working as a sex crimes investigator for the Department of Corrections Community Supervision for the state of New York. And then I left that job when I was a senior investigator, not only handling high-profile cases for that department, but also supervising 10 to 12 investigators. I left that job and started from the bottom again as a police officer. I left it and went to a police municipality in the state of New York, and I started from the bottom, and I worked as a beat officer, and then I worked as a community officer. Then I worked on a elite unit that went after guns and other quality of life issues that affected the community that I policed. And then from there, I went back to investigations again to become a detective working for the Special Victims Unit of my department. And I'm here still working as a special victims detective with a year and a half to go before retiring. I have a bachelor's degree. I also have tons of training as a crime scene technician, level 1 fingerprint examiner. I have various interview interrogation courses under my belt, and I'm also a certified Reed interrogator. And anybody who knows anything about Reed, you can't just use that technique. You got to mix it in with other techniques and your personality, and then you can have a viable way of actually going at these criminals and getting confessions, okay? So those are the qualifications that allow me to sit here and evaluate this law enforcement stuff, this true crime stuff, and that's what we're trying to do. And lastly, this is being produced for adults only, 18 and up, adults only. We do not make content for kids, and we do not market our content for kids. It's only for adults, and viewer discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started.
You may begin speaking.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, is this a good time?
Yes, The phone was in the dining room. I was in the office. Didn't realize it was ringing. And the second time it rang, I didn't even hear it ringing.
Oh, okay. How's everything going?
Well, good. Everything's fine with us. How about you?
Well, hanging in there so far. Any news or updates on your end?
I left my water, guys, so I'm going to let it play out. I'm going to run and get the water real quick.
No.
No? Okay.
How about yours?
Well, I got a chance to look at the autopsy reports.
And? Oh,
I can't go into too much detail, but raises a lot of questions.
Okay. Well, you don't need to say any more.
Yep.
Did you get the books?
No, not yet. Did you get notification of delivery?
yes.
Okay, well, I haven't received them yet.
So they arrived in one location. They have to be transported over from that location, which is outside of St. Pete, and then over to Kissimmee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
It is Seminole, which is, it goes to Seminole, and then from there it's sent over to you. So, as I said, Seminole is over by St. Pete.
Yeah, and who knows how often, they pick it up, so.
Yeah.
And then they have to sort it and check it out and then deliver it to people. So I guess we'll give it another week or so.
All right, real quick, my apologies, guys. I forgot to definitely mention that we are using Plunder's video. I know you clearly see it on the back, but it has to be said because you have to give people proper credit and love for the material that they put together. So this is Plunder's video. She also has it available on her Patreon Raw, where you can go over there and download each call, but Plunder has it all together, so we're just going to use her video on her YouTube channel. The first, I believe, 8 minutes of this video will have her commentary. We've skipped that just to get to the actual calls that doesn't have her commentary. So please do go over to her channel, watch those 8 minutes, watch this audio without my commentary on her channel so she can get credit for it and she can get paid because she needs it. I mean, she deserves it. That's how we get this stuff. People have to pay a lot of money for this stuff, and they need your support for them to be able to afford to get more audio, more documents, more videos, okay? So big shout out to Plunder. Aki will drop all the links as we usually do. Let's keep going.
If you get a chance, Stephen, I found a chess set that is a mat, just a roll-up mat, but the pieces are made out of silicone.
I still don't think that'd be allowed.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Well, you can't melt the silicone into anything, but okay.
No.
You can swallow it and choke on it or whatever,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, we got Plunder in the room. Thanks for showing love, Plunder. I appreciate you. Very, very kind. She says, thanks, Strategic. The very last 13th call cuts off on YouTube. I'm sorry, it disappeared. But you have all the raw ones on Patreon since you're a member of mine. Absolutely. I am also a member of Plunder. I say that all the time, but definitely am a member of Plunder's Patreon. And thank you for letting us know. When we get to the 13th call, we'll definitely go on your Patreon and get that last call. So guys, please go support it. Listen, I'm not an employee of Plunder. I'm telling you, if you want this stuff, the Patreon is a gold mine. Her Patreon is like the vault of America when it comes to all of true crime. Go into that Patreon, play that very affordable membership price, and get access to this stuff.
Jamming in somebody's eye, You gotta think about these things. So last time we talked, you had not found my watch, correct?
Right.
When you went into that box, however, did you see a big plastic purple dragon?
No.
Nope. Big plastic purple dragon?
No.
You were probably in the wrong box then. Said it was in one of the large boxes at the foot of my bed.
No, doesn't see a big plastic purple dragon.
Okay, well, in one of those boxes you will find a big plastic purple dragon, and that is one of the popcorn buckets. And that's not the one I'm talking about. That's just to show you that the popcorn buckets look like other things.
So if you guys don't understand what's going on, he's trying to get his parents to find an Omega watch that I believe he inherited or something like that from his grandfather. I'm not too sure. I'm not even going to go into weeds of where he got the watch from. I just know he has or had, he believes he had an Omega watch, and they want to sell this watch so that they could kind of finance him for a little bit. Because the parents, you know, they're older people, they're on a fixed income. They don't have money to constantly put on people's books. Now, we listen to this and we hear him say, put $50 here, $50 there. I'm a working guy. Some of you guys are working people. Some of you may have more means than others. If you're just telling me put $50 here and there, that's not a big deal for me. But what you don't understand, because I worked in a prison system, and especially when I was investigating people, I was looking at their books, I'm listening to their phone calls, the whole nine. They're asking for $50 like every other day. So at the end of the month, that $50 turns into $500, $600, $700 that you have to put on these people's books to keep them living at the standard that they want to live. He's making phone calls. You got to put money on the phones. He wants commissary. You have to put money on the commissary. He wants to get stuff documented. If he wants to get things notarized, all that stuff costs money in a prison. They don't do anything for free for inmates. So it's a hardship on the family. So he wants to find the watch to sell it. But just listening to him talk about where the watch is and where it's hidden, it just shows you how childish, how this man was a man-child. He was a man in arrested development, as I like to say. He was a man-child. Under the Purple Dragon, in the Mickey Mouse this, everything is a caricature, cartoon, childish kind of thing for him. You know? There's no watch chest that a normal man would have that has his valuable watches that's stored on his dressing table. It's inside of a dragon with a box that has Mickey Mouse on it, tucked away. It's disgusting. And listen to the way that he formulates his words and his tone. It's very immature. It's almost like he's trying to come off as a child. I don't know if he act like this with Jen. I'm pretty certain he probably did this with Madeline, because that's what the groomers do. They like to get on the child's level so that they can, you know, make it more palatable for them to be involved with this child, so that this child is not looking at them as an adult. They're looking at them as an equal. But it's very distressing listening to him. I wonder if you guys feel the same way. Like, it's almost cringy. It's like like nails going down a chalkboard when I hear this man talk. But let's keep going.
But in that same box, you'll see a silvery gray looking sort of box with wheels on the bottom and a brown shoulder strap attached to it. That's the mouse droid. In that should be my watch.
The mouse what?
The mouse droid. M-O-U-S-E.
Plunder said that they shouted us both out in court. You right, they did, because we on that ass. That's right. We on Stephen Stern's ass. That's why he shouted us out. We all up in them booty cheeks. We on that, man. We gonna get this justice, Plunder. We gonna get this justice. Let's keep going.
Droid.
Okay.
What is a mouse droid?
It's looks like a little, almost like a remote control car from Power. You can Google it and see what it looks like, and then find a thing that looks like that with a brown strap attached to it. In that should be my watch, though.
I think we've been through about everything.
All right, Purple Dragon. All right, well, make a note of that.
The Purple Dragon is in the mouse droid.
The father's
But the
over
mouse
it.
droid is
All
in the same box as the
Purple Dragon. All right, Purple Dragon. All right.
Okay.
You got that?
Well, maybe
Yes.
I'll find the Rolex too, because we still haven't found that.
I never had the Rolex.
Okay. Where is that blue one?
So that's the mother throwing some shade, because the parents believe that he stole the Rolex and sold it. That's what the parents believe. All right. And you can hear the frustration with Chris Stern's voice. I've spoke to Chris Stern's behind the scenes, you know, and I've said this before. He's got his issues, but he's the most normal out of the bunch. If I was Chris Stearns, I'd run for the hills. I'm sorry. Because the things that we heard Deborah Stearns say throughout these calls is reprehensible. It's unforgivable. And I've tried to be fair to those folks because, you know, the internet is crazy, and some of you folks are nuts, and you go and harass people that don't need to be harassed. So I've laid off of Chris Stearns' family and just focus on Jen and Stephen. But we can't unhear the things that we heard in this phone call, and they all knew that these calls were recorded. They knew it, or they should have known. So why would you talk like that? I don't know, but let's keep going.
That blue and white little ceramic box that you had that you put stuff in.
That would have been in storage somewhere.
Okay, I thought you had it.
No. Nope, that would be somewhere in storage. So if you guys cleaned out the storage unit, then you may have come across it already.
Well, listen, we've got a lot of boxes that we're still going through. So.
Okay.
And
that's fine.
Well, the boxes we're just stuck in the garage. So there's no place to put it.
Well, it'll be in one of those boxes.
Okay, Dave.
Anyway.
We'll be looking for it, that's for sure.
Yep, and look for that wristwatch inside the mouse droid.
The mouse droid.
Okay.
It's in the same box as the Purple Dragon, okay?
Okay. Definitely look.
Yeah, you'll see a whole bunch of other like Disney collectibles.
We're having trouble getting any cooperation with the classification people there to get you to sign the POA so we can get the car sold and start a little slush fund.
All right, so he's basically trying to liquidate everything. They're trying to liquidate all of his assets so that they could fund his jail lifestyle. Big shout out to Doreen with a $50 super chat. Thank you so much, a super sticker. They're so kind to you, Doreen. Thank you so much, man. That's huge. It's a lot of money, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And big shout out to Pris DP, walking with a $20 super chat, says, walking into work, but here's a small gift to keep the fire lit under this POS bum. Justice for Maddie, hashtag March is for Maddie. You know, I like that, but I like it better. This is Maddie March Madness. Maddie March Madness. We taking over the NCAA. Nobody cares about basketball right now. This is all about Maddie. This is Maddie's month. This is Maddie March Madness. Big shout out to both of you. Thank you for supporting the channel, guys. Let's keep going.
Here for you, for there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they say because of where you're incarcerated that that can't be facilitated with bringing a document back and having it signed. So we told your attorneys about it, and we told them that we would overnight the POA. They could take it in, have you sign it, and I would include a self-addressed returned overnight envelope so they could just drop it off and send it to us. So maybe you can have that conversation with them.
Yeah, because bringing me documents to sign has not been a problem before. When the media asked for my consent for interviews, I had officers literally bring me a form and ask me if I wanted to sign it for consent or not. So I don't think that's really the issue.
So the media's reached out and tried to schedule interviews with you, and you
2 or 3 times.
accepted or declined? Yeah.
Did you talk to them?
No, I've declined every time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it wouldn't do me any good right now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if you could have that conversation with your attorneys, that would be great.
Yeah, that should be able to be arranged.
We got it. We got a copy of your birth certificate for them.
Okay.
Which I was going to bring over for them, so I can overnight that as well. So again, have that conversation that I could.
Now, I think I missed it. I think when it first starts, he says he had to look at the autopsy. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that, but I think because I left my water and all that stuff, you know, just the emotion of thinking about the things that was said when I listened to this last night on the docket and on Plunder's channel. A lot of people were a little upset about that, but that's kind of normal because right now what's happened is what's called discovery, and his defense team has access to all pictures and all documents, and it is his right to see all those pictures. I know people probably were upset that you might have seen pictures of Maddie in various states of clothing, as well as, you know, during the autopsy pictures, etc. I think he said that the autopsy leaves more questions out there. I don't know what he means by that. Remember, this man is a master of deception. He's also a terrible liar, but he lies a whole lot. We don't know if the autopsy leaves any questions. He's still clinging on to hope that he might be found innocent, the way it sounds sometimes in these calls. Sometimes he kind of like accepts what will happen to him. Other times he still holds out hope that he'll one day be free. I don't know. But the bottom line is it is perfectly normal and it is a part of the system for him to have access to all of these pieces of evidence so that he can properly defend himself. So I just want to throw that out there for you guys. That is within normality, if we can say that word. Let's keep going.
Overnight the package along with the POA. They could take the POA into you, have you sign it, and then we could, and then I would include a return envelope as well, and they can send it back to us.
Yeah. As far as a birth certificate, I guess we would just have that included with whatever my belongings they took into storage when I was booked.
Say that again?
No, I don't know, this is for something that they're doing. They wanted to get your records from Sarasota Memorial and from Irvine, California for the kidney surgery, and both of those have their own forms that you have to sign them because you're an adult. You're no longer a minor. I can't sign for them. But, so that's going as well.
Do you have those documents?
Yes, they're in the
Oh, okay.
What county was I born in? It was Kane County, right?
Yeah. So we have your birth certificate.
What was the name of the hospital?
I don't know.
Who cares?
Is it on the birth certificate?
Yeah.
Does it matter?
I was just wondering if I ever need to find it for any reason.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he holds out hope that this stuff will matter. It will never matter what hospital you was born in. You will never even need your birth certificate. You're going to be a ward of the state for the rest of your life, dude. You're never getting out. I don't understand why he's living in delusion. I think the only person who's not living in delusions is his father. And his father, you can just hear from the way he speaks. Maybe it's because I spoke to him before. I don't know him, but I know kind of how his tones, his tonations, and how he speaks a little bit. So I don't proclaim once again to know this man. He's not a friend of mine, okay? I just spoke to him as a stranger on the phone a few times or whatever. But I can tell based off of what little conversations I had that this guy is like, my son is nuts. And if I'm wrong, send me an email and say I'm not thinking that, and then I'll retract it. But it's like he's thinking to himself, like, what is wrong with my son? My son is delusional. Like, does he not understand the gravity of what he's facing? Does he not know what the state is accusing him of doing? Does he not know what evidence they say they have against him? Does he really think he's going to need a birth certificate or know what hospital he was born in? Like, it only gets more delusional as these calls go through, but we're just going to power through all of them through the series because I don't know which one's which, and I don't want to be skipping around. We'll get there when we get there, but this gets crazy, guys. It gets crazy.
Well, Kane County would have it.
Yeah. Okay.
So the hospital doesn't have it. Kane County does.
Okay. So I just contact the court for Kane County, I guess?
Yeah. So it was like $45 to get this copy of this birth certificate. It doesn't say which hospital.
Okay. But Kane County.
But it has, I'm sorry, Copley Memorial Hospital.
Copley?
Yeah.
With a C or a K?
C.
C, okay. Copley Memorial in Kane County. Okay. Just if I ever need to get that, and I don't have anyone to rely on, it would help.
Well, we're trying to get a hold of your attorneys that handled the things when you and Joey got run over. But it's changed so much, and the partners are split up, and I think one of them is in California that would be the one I wanted to talk to, but I've called and left him a message, and he hasn't returned the call.
He is not trying to take your call.
So we're trying to do anything that they asked us to do on Ireland, we're doing. And so I don't know. We get pushback sometimes when we ask for information, but
Don't worry.
One of them informed me that she was a criminal attorney, not a civil attorney, and getting a POA done was not part of her business.
That was probably Alicia.
Could have been.
Yeah, she's a no-nonsense type.
You said she's a lowlife?
If she has your best interest in mind, it'd be his best interest to get it done so that we can keep you funded.
So we can keep you funded, see?
One thing at a time, I guess.
So everything in this call pretty much is all about the money. We'll keep powering through. I think each call is like 15 minutes long. But this call primarily is all about the money. But let's keep going, though. Maybe they might say something else probative. I don't remember. There's just so much. It's hard to even remember what was said where.
See, you guys can find my watch, that will be another step in the right direction. It's in there.
There's, okay. I just hope that it's somehow that you can really identify it, because
Identify what?
where is that, what the box of
Okay, leave it on that. We'll just keep looking.
Top of the dragon, mouse droid. Top of the mouse droid.
Okay.
Mouse droid.
Wristwatch is inside.
$5 TO girl, thank you. Said, look, love
What
it
else
over
to do with
here.
you guys?
Just going to church, doing open houses. We're studying the book of Romans. I would love for you to read that.
You know, as a Christian, man, once again, this is a place that's inclusive for everybody. So we're not trying to impose my personal beliefs on any of you. But it's my show, so I'm talking about myself. As a Christian man, you know, person who grew up in a church, when I hear Deborah talk about religion, it breaks my heart. Because she talks about religion, but she doesn't talk like a religious person. She keeps on bringing God up into this conversation, bringing God into this equation, and God has no place here. God has no place here. You know why God has no place here? God has nothing for Stephen Stearns. Why? Because Stephen Stearns does not even want forgiveness. Why would God have anything for Stephen Stearns when he does not even want forgiveness? Has he said sorry for what he did to Maddie? Has he asked for forgiveness? Has he repented? No. So it doesn't matter how many times he reads Romans or whatever you want to throw at him. It means for nothing. It's all for nothing because Stephen Stearns does not feel sorry for what he did to Madeline Soto. He has never come forward and said, I did it. I plead guilty. I'm sorry. I want to take responsibility for what happened. I want to make peace with Maddie. I want to make peace with God. But yet she keeps throwing that out there. And then in another sentence, she's going to say, oh, well, you know, maybe it was her time to die. Oh, I don't care what you did. You're my son. I still love you. Is that very godly? Is that very religious? No. So I hate hypocrites like her. You are a hypocrite, and you should not speak about God because God is not with you because you are not with God. That's my opinion, though, and I'm not a preacher, not a pastor. I'm just me. Let's keep going.
And Lacey's going to have puppies.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to miss that. I love all those little happy little wagging tails and bright eyes and smell all that puppy breath.
Puppy breath.
Oh, yes.
Do you know when your court date's going to be yet?
No clue. Might not be for another couple months. It depends if they even need my testimony at all. Which, I mean, you would hope they would, but, I mean, at some point I assume I am going to see the inside of a courtroom.
Yeah.
It'd be a pretty strange trial without it.
Yeah. Well, there's been no news at all. So everything's just kind of status quo from where it was last time. Where have you been for the last week?
All right, before he gets in that, big shout out to a friend of Crow's, $10 super chat, says thanks for your hard work and commentary strategic. Enjoy a cup of fancy coffee on me. You know what? I'm going to take you up on that offer and I'm going to go get me some Starbucks. How about that? Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. You are appreciated. Let's keep going, man. Let me get my grab. My gavel fell when I was screaming.
Couldn't make a call for a little while. Some of the people that work the night shift, as I said, are not as nice to me. So I've been waiting for people who are. And then, well, I got sick as well, so I've been sick for a few days.
You're not nice to me.
Presumably, yes. I've had a pretty bad fever and a sore throat, some serious pressure on my left inner ear. Yeah, like I said, this place is filthy and unsanitary, and obviously they don't clean these cells before they bring a new person into it.
Did they move you again?
Yeah, they moved me again as well. So I moved out of the room with the ants, and now I'm back into the room with the ants again, too.
Oh, well, familiar friends.
Yeah, they just love moving me, especially around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm comfortable and trying to fall asleep. I think they do it just to mess with me, honestly.
Hmm.
Well, if that's all they do, then be happy.
Yeah, well, it's hard to be happy though.
It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it could. You know, people have survived a lot worse than this, but
Yes.
we'll see what happens, I guess.
But when it happens,
Yeah, it's air conditioned in there, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So I've got that at least for now. Although one little room they put me in before was tiny and did not have air conditioning, or at least the air was not circulating in there, so it was hot, it was stifling, it smelled like a little dog kennel. I'm glad they moved me out of that.
Did you got enough bedding to keep warm at night?
Well, I have one mat and one little thin, scratchy wool blanket.
Hmm. No sheets on the mat, I assume?
No pillow, no sheets, nothing.
Okay. Well, it's not the Ritz or the Holiday Inn.
1 minute
No.
remaining.
Oh, there's a 1 minute warning. God, these 15 minutes go by so fast, just like my break at work. So I'll try to call you back in another 15 minutes. You know the drill. If you don't hear back from me again, day or two.
Okay.
okay, we love you, honey.
Love you too, Mama Bear, but I will try to call you back in 15 minutes if possible.
We'll be hovering over the phone.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye.
The time is
All right, cool. So now we're moving. I think we'll do 3 today. 3 today. We'll try and get 3 today. All right, big shout out to Andrew Sell with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Let me go ahead and just go over here so I can make sure I look at everything. Steph Turtle with a $1.99 super chat. What else we got going on? Wendy Williams says, missed you guys. Love and support to you. $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Doreen Rick with celebrating 7-month membership as a White Shield member. That's a very high tier of our membership, and we do appreciate that. Michelle Fuller with a $2 super chat as well. All right, so now let's get back over here. We're going to do 3 today, guys. We're going to do 3 because, remember, I got to go to work, and I got to bloviate, and I got to run my gums. So 3, which is 15 minutes apiece, ends up being a 2-hour show. You guys know how we do over here. If you want to hear this, by the way, one more time, without my commentary, we're using Plunder's video. Go on the Plunder's website. You guys know I'm a big fan of Plunder. Shout her out, her, Grizzly. Shout these folks out every single show because it really does matter to me. I really am a fan of these folks. Go over to her channel and you can listen to this without my commentary, without her commentary, without any commentary. You can just listen to it through while you go through your day and do what you do. We're not gatekeeping here. I don't want you just to hear it from me. You're listening to me because you want to hear my insight and my commentary and my jokes and my facts and all that good stuff. But if you just want to hear it without my interruptions, you know exactly where to find it. We're going to steer you in that direction. We're going to make sure that the links are inside of the chat as well as the description so you can easily find it. Then after you finish watching it there, you can come back here if you want and listen to my commentary. That's what we do here. We react and we do commentary. So here's the next one. This is 8:09 p.m. on 5/26/2024. Let's do it.
8:09 p.m.
Hey there.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, the guard just let me know that she's going to need the phone back in about 5 minutes. I think someone else wants to make a call.
Okay.
So this will have to be brief. Probably the last one of the night, but I'll push it till she needs it back.
All right. Well, better than nothing.
Yep. So anyway.
For you to call back was wrong.
What's that?
The waiting for you to call back seemed like forever.
Turn right on.
Then it just goes by quickly when we talk.
Yep. Same for me. Time creeps by when I'm waiting to call back, and then just slides by real quickly when we're talking there. Just like I said, just like my breaks at work, 15 minutes is never quite as long as you think it is.
Mm.
Yeah.
But,
Hey, how's your eyes? Do you need reading glasses?
if I did, I don't know what kind I would need. For now, they serve their purpose. But even my attorneys noticed at some point that I did seem like I had to kind of squint to look at what I was reading.
Okay.
I think it just depends on how tired I am, how strained my eyes are, all that. But yeah.
What, do they have provisions there to provide reading glasses, or what?
Yeah,
Or can you have reading glasses?
You can get reading glasses off the commissary, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why don't you check into that and see which ones work for you, and I guess that's the only place you can get them, right?
Yeah, probably. But that would be a matter of trial and error, because they have like 3 or 4 different magnifications, I think, and I have no idea which I would need.
Well, try 150, 1.50, and then go to 175, and see which works.
Yeah, I guess I could.
I mean, can you try them on?
I think you have to buy them. I don't think you get to try them. There's no way to make the order and pay for it and then send it back.
Well, what if they don't work? Can you send them back?
He just said he can't.
I don't know how that works. I could ask somebody, but I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll find out. How much are they?
Like $3 or something like that.
$3?
Something like that. I'm not sure.
What are they, like paper 3D glasses?
They're plastic.
Oh yeah, I'm just being facetious.
Yeah, I think it could be more. They might be $4 or $5 or $6, something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah, could be even $12. I don't remember. I mean, I saw them, but I don't remember how much the price was.
All right, we're getting there. Like my memory is telling me that stuff is going to come soon. It's either going to be towards the end of this call or the third call that we're going to listen to. I mean, sometimes you got to go through the fat before you get to the meat. So I know it's like, they're just bantering. This thing gets insane, and it doesn't take long to get insane. So it's either going to be at the end of the call or the next call where things just really start getting crazy. Big shout out to Tonta37 with a $2 super chat, says, whoever hasn't heard these calls, prayer, I think she wanted to say pray you need it. And yeah, it's an understatement. It does get crazy like that. If you're really emotionally invested in this case, it will get crazy for you. If you're not emotionally, and either way, it's not bad. You don't have to be emotionally invested to care about this. But if you're not emotionally invested in this case, you're looking at it from an objective point of view, you'll be disgusted and you'll feel sad in the humanity of some of these calls. And if you are emotionally invested, it will literally break your heart. Because the way that these people flippantly talk about Maddie, it's heartbreaking. It really is. Big shout out to everybody who's watching the channel right now. Please hit the like button, support the channel. And then Sarah, let me go ahead. I just want to give it some shout outs before we get back to this. Sarah's Smile gave a $20 super chat, says, thank you for making time to go over these. I couldn't listen to anyone else go over these calls. Well, thank you for believing in me and supporting me. And Sonny O the White with a $5 super chat says, SS talking about the jail being filthy and unsanitary, when he chooses not to shower. Keep up the good work, strategic. I know the irony of that. Like he lived in filth with Jen Soto. He took showers like every other third day. Took a shower on the Ides of March, once a year. Jamie MP with $5 super chat says, sounds like he's trying to scam them. He's saying the glasses are $40, then $3, then $12. It's small, but speaks more to his character. And I think he's been doing that for a very long time. That's why the parents keep throwing in the Rolex thing. Like, wish we could find a Rolex, because they had a Rolex. Nobody broke into their house. The Rolex is missing from the place that they put it. We know that old people are very organized. They're setting their ways. They put something. They know where they had it. He obviously, in my opinion, stole their Rolex and sold it so he could fund his lifestyle. Now everything is falling apart. He's putting so much pressure on them to find his watch so they could sell his Omega watch, get the little $1,500 for it, sell his hoopty car, probably get $500 for it. He's a man that was such a loser at almost 40. He has no assets, nothing. He doesn't have 2 nickels to rub together. That now that he's in trouble, he literally is trying his best to pimp his parents to liquidate what little things of value he had, most often things of value that other people got him, not things of value that he amassed for himself. He wants to liquidate those things so he could get saltine chips, barrel root beer candy, and coffee while he's in jail. That's his priority. It's really pathetic if you really want to be honest about it. Let's keep going.
Yeah, okay. Hi.
How you doing? How you doing with your stuff that you got from the commissary? Do you have enough to
He's fat and sassy.
Yeah, I've got enough coffee, hard candies, and saltine crackers to last me through the end of the month here.
Well, that's a couple more days.
Yeah, the other snacks kind of went faster than I expected them to, so I think from now on I'm just going to stick to coffee, hard candies, and saltine crackers.
Yeah, well, once you get your books, you'll have something to occupy your time.
Yeah, but hard candies, saltines, and coffee, those have seemed to give me the best bang for it.
Okay. All right.
Chips and things like that, the pickles and all that, it just doesn't last the way you want it to.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hard to have just one per day, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with the meals like they are. And, you know, you never feel full after a meal, so you always feel up in your stomach, especially after dinner, because that's around 6 or 7, and then there's nothing else until like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and you know me, I'm
well, you've had a lifetime of snacking all night long.
Yeah, well, plus my metabolism doesn't help.
Yeah. So.
See, what's really killing me though is my back and my hips.
The bed.
Yeah, the quote-unquote bed.
Whoa,
You know,
whoa, whoa.
your bones
Whoa,
move right through and rest on the floor underneath. So, you know, it hurts your hips, and then your knees are resting against each other, and it's tough.
Yeah.
And when the lights are on, in these pods and suicide watch and medical, the lights are always on overhead, and so they're real bright. So you try to find a way to block it out, and any way you lay is just terrible.
Yeah.
Woe is
And
me.
you get all the debris from the floor that ends up on your mat and your blanket, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Just
A
really,
lot of what he's saying is not true too. Like, yes, during the daytime, lights are on inside of prison and correctional and jail systems, but in the nighttime, they do turn the lights off. They do turn the lights off. You can't do that. You can't leave the lights on. That's considered torture under the Geneva Convention. You can't do that. So I worked in many correctional facilities throughout my career, and I can tell you off of firsthand experience working in these systems that in the nighttime, lights off is a thing. In the movies, when you hear lights off, that's a thing. The lights go off. So nobody is subjecting Stephen STERNS to staying up all night because he's got a light beaming down on him like he's in Guantanamo or something like that. No, that doesn't happen here in America. Now, if he wants to take a nap during the day, yeah, the lights are going to be on. But when it's time to go to sleep, 9 o'clock, and lights go out early, 9, 10, I never seen lights on later than 10. At 10 p.m., everything's shut down, lights go off, and he can get his nice, good night's rest. You know, the thing that was so important to him and Jen Soto. He could get that without being bothered by those pesky lights. Let's keep going.
we keep hoping that something's going to break in my favor with this trial.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I have to have hope about something, you know. I have to maintain some sort of hope, otherwise I've got nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, or even my guardian angel one
Well,
thing.
you've been there. You've been there for what, 3 months now?
Yeah, at the end of this month it'll be 3 months.
March, April. Yep, 3 months. So.
Well, like I said, the whole process could take 2 or 3 years before it's concluded, so. And I've already been told that if the prosecution is smart, that they'll drag it out as long as they can.
See, a lot of people, like somebody in the chat says that wasn't Stephen STERNS an insomniac. Well, wouldn't you have problems sleeping too? Like what I'm starting to realize as I'm getting older and I'm starting to look at other people, whether it's through the media or in my career, and starting to understand the decisions they make based off of the life that they've lived and the choices that they've made and the consequences of those actions and choices, it kind of makes sense. Like you look at Maddie, they said Maddie had ADHD. They said Maddie had behavioral issues. Maddie would sleep in class. Maddie would cry like crazy. Maddie would have outbursts against her friends. All these negative things they said about Maddie, right? And these are their experience. So I'm not saying that these things didn't happen with Maddie. But then when we look behind the veil, we realize that Stephen STERNS kept Maddie up all night. Stephen Stearns abused Maddie. Stephen Stearns groomed her. Stephen Stearns did the worst to her since, in my opinion, what I believe was 6 years old. So doesn't that make sense that she would not pay attention in school, that she would fall asleep in school when she's being abused all night, that she would be, tired, she would have outbursts, she would have issues regulating her her emotions when she's experienced so much trauma and PTSD? And wouldn't that not result in a false diagnosis of ADHD when she's exhibiting these symptoms that might be attributed to ADHD if you don't have the life that Maddie has? But if you have the life Maddie has, you would probably just be diagnosed with PTSD. Now put that to the side. Now, Stephen Stearns, he's having problems sleeping. Is he really an insomniac? Or does he really suffer from insomnia? Or could it just be the fact that he's once again been victimizing this youngster for so long, and now she's getting older and she's getting more defiant, and you're thinking to yourself, any moment now I'm going to get caught and I'm going to go to jail and I might face capital punishment. Wouldn't that make you lose sleep? Wouldn't that be something that keeps you up all night long? The stress of knowing that your end, your doom is imminent. Because I feel like we kind of like misdiagnose ourselves, and we don't take into account the environmental factors that actually make people experience the things that they're experiencing and exhibit the traits that they're experiencing. Like, these things don't happen in a vacuum. Choices and circumstances sometimes play a role in these things that we see people suffering from. Let's keep going.
Yeah. So, who knows what's going to happen? So, just keep hoping we can find something.
Well, as soon as you get some reading material and we know that arrives safely, then we can arrange for other stuff.
Yep. That will be good, having my own little mini library with stuff that I like to read, instead of just what.
So when they move you from cell to cell, how do you move your stuff around?
I toss it all in my blanket, close my blanket up, fold my blanket up into my mat, and then push it.
Oh, they move you, blanket and mat.
Yep. They'll move me with the mat, but if they don't, I'll take my blanket and everything and just hope that they clean the mat in the new cell well enough, which last time they did not.
Yeah. Right.
I found a whole wad of shit underneath at one time.
Yeah, so you get to, well, you should, maybe you can complain to management.
No.
Yeah, well, I'll be sure to include it in my Yelp review.
Yeah, yeah.
1 star, accommodations suck. Food terrible.
Yeah. Well, the idea is not to be there, but too late for that.
Yeah, no kidding.
His father's very condescending with him. You guys got to pick up on that shade that he constantly throws at him. He throws that shade. Big shout out to West Virginia Mountain with a $5 super chat. Says, holy cow, I just noticed I'm a member now. Whoever gifted this, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Well, man, welcome to the membership, and you're welcome. Let's keep going.
Stephen, I could never have imagined that we would all be in this situation. I just couldn't. There's no way I could have ever even visualized it. It's just awful.
Yeah, me either, to be honest.
Well, I mean, things kind of went sideways, whatever happened with, so you knew that was going to go down a rat hole.
Yeah, well, I never in a million years that she would not be around anymore, so.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to bring this back real quick, but I want to acknowledge 2 benefiters of the channel, and then I'm not going to interrupt because this is important what's being said. So Kilak with a $4.99 super chat says, the defense bringing up strategic eyes in court today was chef's kiss. And I can't say kiss that well because I got my Invisalign in. So thank you so much with the chef's kiss. All right, I got it out. And Princess Pillow with 5 gift memberships to 5 lucky people. Make sure you guys thank Christmas. See, I can't speak Christmas. I can't speak with these things in my mouth. It's like foreign stuff in my mouth. Anyway, Princess Pillow. Thank you, Princess Pillow, for showing that love. Now, let's go back because this is very probative, guys. This is very probative. Let's listen to him talk about Maddie's unaliving.
1 star. Accommodations suck. Food terrible.
Yeah. Well, the idea is not to be there, but that's too late for that.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, Stephen, I could never have imagined that we would all be in this situation. I just couldn't. There's no way I could have ever even visualized this. It's just awful.
Yeah, me either, to be honest.
Well, I mean, things kind of went sideways, whatever happened with, so you knew that was going to go down a rat hole.
Yeah, well, I never in a million years that she would not be around anymore, so.
Never a million years, huh?
So, once that went sideways, whatever happened, that was all she wrote.
Yeah, well, I can handle a lot of things.
What's that?
I said, still has not been heard from except for an interview she did with the newspaper where she told everybody that she did sleep with you guys and she did sleep with you in the other room.
As I was going to say, I can handle a lot of things, but one thing I just can't reconcile or figure out in my mind or wrap my head around is the fact that, doesn't get to live anymore.
That Maddie doesn't get to live anymore?
There were a lot of things that I wanted to see for her, She had another year or so before high school.
So disgusting.
Learning how to drive, figuring out what she wanted to do with her life. I was excited to see where she was going, I was really impressed with the person that she was finally growing into.
Well, got a whole lot to talk about, a lot to own up to.
Well, again, I know you can't talk about.
You guys hear the way that he spoke about Maddie? Like he actually cared about her. He was impressed with the person that she was growing into. He couldn't wait to see her learn how to drive and go to high school and all that stuff. It's disgusting, man. This guy is delusional. Absolutely delusional. Understand, guys, nobody's forcing him to say this stuff. He could just remain silent. He could not say anything at all. Nobody's forcing him to say this. We know what you did to Maddie, yet you are taking it upon yourself to portray yourself like this loving stepdad who cared about this girl so much. Nobody's forcing him to say these ugly things. They're so ugly because they're untruths. They're not true. They're not true. It's horrible. The life of torture and trauma he subjected this child to. Yeah, he pretends like he was this loving, doting stepfather who wanted the world for her. No. Your actions speak volumes for what you actually wanted for Maddie. Let's keep going, though.
It's like, it almost sounds like you didn't know something had happened to her.
Well, I discovered her.
This is huge.
In the state that she was in after everything was said and done. So, obviously I can't get into detail, but no, I was not aware that she had passed on.
So this is huge. And I talked about this with the members only in the members only section last night around 2 a.m. when I was coming home from work. I spoke about this. You guys should be members, man. You're missing out on the real Strategic Eyes show. If you're not a member or a Patreon member, you are missing out big time. So what I talked about is it's very important in our investigations in law enforcement that we can put a person at the crime. And although there's a wealth of evidence, video, the whole nine, even interviews where he said that he was there, he put her to bed and all of that stuff, this is big because this is the first time that he put himself actually at the murder. You understand? Like he said, I drove her and I dropped her off. That's the story we got with the cops. So he said, I put her to bed. So he put himself as the last person to see her alive. And then he said, I dropped her off at the school. He put himself as the last person to see her alive, dropping her off at the school. But remember, he lawyered up when he was being interrogated. So he never put himself with her dead body. Stephen Stearns never put himself with her dead body. This is a partial confession in our world. This is a partial confession. Yeah, you're not willing to tell us you personally killed her, but you told us you're the last person to see her alive, and you were the last person to see her unalived. It's a partial confession what he just gave here. And so what he goes on to say is that he discovers her at dawn. He says he leaves the room a few times for various amount of time. Sometimes he said a few minutes, sometimes he said a few hours. He can't make up his mind on what his story is because he's making it up off the top of his head, and he's not really that smart of a guy. But pivotally, he said, I discovered her at dawn, and she was cold, and her lips were blue. She was gone. That's huge. Because he acknowledges that he put her to bed, and she went to sleep alive. Then he acknowledges that he found her in the house unalive, deceased. We never got that information before. This is all probative. This is all Brady material. This is all going to be in court. This is going to be in court. This is going to be played for the jury. Stephen Stearns admitting that he found Maddie dead. Just keep going.
As you know, I'm up and down throughout the night, and I was not in the room the whole time. And it's not like you just suddenly feel someone's ghost pass away from them. It's a discovery. And
so he wasn't even in the same room with you?
It's horrible. He said you to feel someone's ghost pass away. Why is he saying this? This just shows how diabolical he is. He doesn't have to say that. He know he took her life. He doesn't have to say that. But yet he says it. It's terrible. Lynn God's Angels with a $2 super chat says he unalived her childhood before he unalived her. Nobody has ever said it as eloquently as Lynn just said it. Before I continue, let me just show love to the other folks who showed that love. Lauren Hegwood with one gift super chat, and Dalia with a $2.49 super sticker, and Tori is a member for 4 months, and Tori says, we doing big things over here. Honorable mention in the courtroom earlier. Way to go, strategic. I appreciate you. Let's keep going.
Well, I mean, she was in the room that I started in, but, I'm up and down throughout the night, and I tend to wander around the house and fiddle around on my phone and step out front and feel the nice, cool night air and all that. So I was gone from the room for, obviously I really can't get into too many details, but
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't discover what had happened until just around dawn.
Around dawn.
Hmm.
All right, so she was in the room I started in. She was in the room I started in, which is bedroom number 4. And he says all the different things that he was doing. So is he alluding to the fact that somebody else took her life? He doesn't want to go that far, though, when they talk about it, because that's naturally where the parents are going to go. Well, if you're saying that you weren't there, well, who else did it? Why are you protecting them? He's going to allude that maybe Jen Soto's the one, but he's not going to go that far. He's going to say, oh, no, well, maybe there's nobody else to blame. I don't know. Crazy stuff. And me with a $3 super sticker. Let's keep going.
Okay. Interesting.
Because I discovered that she was ice cold.
Hmm.
Well, all I can say, Stephen, is that my heart breaks for you because I know that's something that you never would have done and never would have wanted to have done to her.
Damn right.
Neither would we.
Damn right.
I'm angry on your behalf that it happened, and I'm angry that you got dragged into it by them. So I'm just angry.
No accountability. Listen to the Bible thumping Christian. No accountability. I'm not making fun of her religion. I'm a Christian. I just don't feel like she's a real Christian. I don't feel she's a real Christian. Listen to her. Offering her son no accountability. She knows what the prosecution has against her son. She watches these podcasts. She came on these podcasts with her husband. She knows what Stephen Stearns is accused of doing and the evidence that shows him doing it in the flesh. And yet she has the audacity to get on this phone and say what she's saying to Stephen Stearns. She has no integrity. I'm sorry.
Was there anybody else at the townhome that was not a regular person?
No, which is why I keep saying that I'm not sure that there's any one person, honestly, to blame.
See?
But they're certainly trying to blame me.
So I want to go back. There's no any one person to blame. So he's talking out both sides of his mouth. He's saying, I'm not the one who killed her, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell you who did, or maybe nobody else did. Doesn't make any sense. Claire 199 Super Sticker says he annihilated her childhood and then erased her. Absolutely. Let's go back just a tad bit. So we're at 33, 34. I want to go back to 33. Well, I don't know. It went to 33:18. Let's trust in if this is the right time.
Was there anybody else at the townhome that was not a regular person?
No, which is why I keep saying that I'm not sure that there's any one person, honestly, to blame. But they're certainly trying to blame me. And according to the autopsy report, like I said, raises a lot more questions, but they seem to be settling on trying to say it's homicide. Like I said, it has something to do with bones in her throat. But
There's something about it has something to do with something in her throat. So I'm just wondering, like, is Stephen Stearns going to try and put on a defense that she died from natural causes or something like that? I don't know. I don't know if I couldn't understand what he said. Maybe he's alluding to the autopsy saying that she had that hyoid bone broken inside of her neck. I don't know. We'll keep going, see if it cleans up a little bit. Before we do, please hit that like button so we can get into the algorithm, so we can be seen by a wider audience. We have almost 800 people watching us right now. We're very grateful for all you folks who are joining us. I don't know if you guys are joining us because we were cited by the defense attorneys as a reason why the courtroom should be closed, because True Crime with Strategic is on that arse. We all over that arse. But please do hit that like button, guys, to support the channel. Let's keep going.
take that to mean what you will.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
But you know, I would never have done anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the same person that cried when I asked you to dispatch your little bird that broke its neck or something and was flopping around.
Mm.
Yeah, you know, same person that cares about people, cries at movies.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, because somebody who cries at a movie can't be a homicidal maniac. Paula preaching right now. Paula said 189 super sticker. Matthew 7:16. You will know them by their fruits. Can I get an amen in the chat? Can I get an amen?
And there was always, and then there was Skippy.
Skippy, yeah. Rue.
Jaybird.
Jaybird, yep, I remember them all. Bearing them was very hard for me.
Yeah.
And
All I know, Stephen, is when I look at a picture of you and I look into your eyes, I don't see a monster there. I don't see a bad person there. I see my son who I love. And that never will change.
It never will change.
well, thank you, and I know that I'm not a bad person or an evil person or a monster.
No. But you do need to dive into the Bible head first and stay in it, because you need grace and you need God on your side as a warrior on your side.
I keep asking him to help me through this somehow. I know that
God is a warrior for Maddie right now, my friend. Not for you. Not for you. Not for you.
You still don't have a Bible?
I have a Bible. I have a King James Version.
Okay. So we're looking into getting your large print Bible. So I want to make sure that this delivery gets to you, and then I can order one from the publisher and get it to you large print, so it won't be glasses.
Well, hopefully it does. We have no idea how often they pick it up or how long it'll take to get here and get sorted and get delivered, if it does at all. But I haven't received any written notification of anything being returned yet, so.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. You know, we'll judge it from there, and so we'll just make sure that we're timing this right. So
But, keep praying.
The Bible will occupy the majority of your time.
Yeah, I keep praying to God for help, for some kind of miracle. I mean, I know I've probably run up my divine credit as far as miracles go, with my guardian angel and God working in overtime to keep me alive as long as they have.
Remaining.
Please, Lord, please pray to God for me so that you can find my Omega watch so you can sell it on eBay and get some money to buy me some Biro candies and some root beer and some coffee in the morning. Please, let's pray for that. Please, parents.
But I keep hoping for one more big miracle, one big salvation. And
have you got some way to keep a journal of notes that you would take from reading the Bible?
I can get a pad of paper off the commissary, and I can get more pens and stuff too. I think my commissary is about negative $10 by this point, but I know I can get a pad of white ruled paper off of there.
Okay. So do I need to replenish the commissary yet, or wait?
If you want to, yes. But I'm not going to use it on snacks, just on essentials for now.
All right, how much do I need to put in?
$50.
Okay.
It's going to be dropped down to 40 like immediately.
Okay.
We're about to get cut off.
About out of time.
Yep, I'll talk to you later. I love you both.
I love you too. All right.
Bye.
All right. So, big shout out to Paradox 90, $20 super chat, says Jen Soto isn't his wife and MS wasn't his bio child. If Jen Soto unalived her and he was innocent, why not call 911? He had nothing to gain by covering it up. He actually drew more attention to himself by claiming to be the last one with her. Wow. There's a theme that you guys are going to notice in these phone calls, in the 13 phone calls that we're going to listen to as we get through this series. The theme is that Stephen STERNS constantly asks his parents for money. It's always, I love you guys, send me some money. It's always, I'm innocent of this. I've done nothing wrong. I'm not the one who started it. These are the things that everybody else did in my sphere to make me make the choices that I made that you cannot hold me accountable for because I cannot be held accountable for my actions as Stephen STERNS and give me some money while you at it. That is Stephen STERNS. He is a narcissistic, self-centered person. And listen, on the internet, people throw narcissism around like everybody's a doctor, everybody knows what it means, and everybody who you disagree with is a narcissist. That's not how it works. There's a specific definition for a narcissist, and I believe, as a non-psychologist, that Stephen STERNS fits that bill. He is a narcissist. He only cares about himself. Now, listen, we're at an hour and 12-minute mark. We're going to listen to one last call. I believe I promised you guys 3 calls, and that's what we're going to do today. One last call. If we have time after that, we might take some phone calls. We might not. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow or another day. What's tomorrow? Today's what? I think today's Thursday. I think I have court tomorrow. So I have grand jury tomorrow. So I haven't conferred with the DA yet, but I have grand jury. If I have grand jury, then I won't be doing a morning show tomorrow, but we'll probably do the show in the evening, okay? So look out for that. But I did get my court notification, so most likely I'm going to be going to grand jury tomorrow. We'll talk about it. I'll keep you guys updated on the community tab as to whether we'll be doing a morning show tomorrow or evening show, but we will be continuing on this. So let's do the last one, and then we'll call it a day. In fact, we're not going to do a call-in show today. We're going to, I love the call-in shows. We'll see if we can fit it in. Let's just keep going.
Press 1 for English. The time is 7:48 p.m.
Stephen STERNS. Stephen!
Osceola County Corrections Department.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking.
Hey, is this a good time?
Hold on. Yeah, I was on the phone with somebody else, and first time you called in and inadvertently hit the wrong button. Hang on, I'm going to put you on speaker. Hang on. Okay, I got you.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hey.
Something as well.
He's always in the well.
Yeah.
He's in a big room.
Yep, very echoey. Oh,
Did you get any of the books we sent yet?
no, not yet.
Okay.
But I don't have any notification of anything being sent back either. I had
Okay.
a
All right.
meeting with the mental health director a couple days ago. She said they're going to step me down, take me down a step in custody level. So I'm going to be.
All right. Just want to say one comment real quick about Stephen Stern's brother. I saw this comment in the chat. Somebody said that he changed his name because of this. And this is not to that commenter. It just popped in my head. It's something I wanted to talk about very briefly. Stephen Stern's brother has nothing to do with this case. He's never done an interview. He's never tried to support his brother. He's never been seen. My understanding is that he is a person of service and is a stand-up individual. Nobody, and this is not to the commenter, this is just in general, nobody should be seeking out Stephen Stern's brother. Leave that man alone. Chris Stearns and Deborah Stearns decided to put themselves out there into the social media sphere by doing interviews on social media channels, reaching out to social media content creators like myself, giving interviews, all that stuff, talking to the cops multiple times, speaking to him on these recorded lines where they know that these conversations are going to be requested and will be played on the internet for the whole world to listen to. They made their choice. They're fair game. They're public officials now. But the son has not ever put himself out there like that. So in my opinion, anybody who's trying to track down who this man is a weirdo. Leave him alone. There's nothing probative that you will ever find out of Stephen Stern's brother. Let him live his life, because his life of service to this country should not be tarnished by his brother's poor decisions. His brother, Stephen Stern's brother, is an American hero. Stephen Stearns is trash. Leave the hero alone. And a big shout out to Chrissy Lee with a $10 super chat. Says, I don't understand how his parents are supporting him like this and saying he's not a monster and giving him so much money. It makes me sick. I know they are his parents, but what he did is evil. Very good point. Thank you so much for making that point. Before we get back to the show, let me make sure I got everybody who showed love. Make sure I got everybody who showed love. I got everybody. Thank you so much. All right, let's keep going.
Be taken off non-acute status, and as soon as a space opens up in one of the regular isolation cells, I'll be moved to one of those.
Okay, good.
Does that mean that we can get a document to you and we can get it signed now?
Possibly. She said they won't put any restrictions on me.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. And when is that supposed to happen?
What's that?
Well, when is that supposed to happen?
Whenever a space opens up in one of those cells.
Oh, okay. All right.
She's on space. This is a very crowded jail. There's over 2,000 inmates.
All right. And you'll still be in kind of isolated protection?
Yep, I'll still be in protective custody. I'll still be by myself. I just won't be under self-harm watch.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I won't be in any of the self-harm pods.
Okay.
So that's
all right. Well, I guess that's better accommodations. You'll have concierge services.
not likely, but you know, I might actually have a rack to put my mat on, so I'm not going to be on the floor. Maybe I'll have a seat and a table. Who knows? But I won't be surrounded by crazies all the time.
Okay.
Or relatively so.
All right.
You're not comfortable around the crazies? I think he'd fit right in with the crazies. He's looking down at the crazies when he did the craziest thing. The irony.
All right. Sounds good.
Yep. Any other news or updates on your end?
No. Everything's still status quo. Somebody sent us a link to a YouTube video that, these amateur sleuths just are relentless. I mean, they just go down any and every path they can go, and so this link to this YouTube video had tracked all your internet activity and all the sites that you had joined.
Dark web.
The dark web, whatever, but some of the offbeat websites.
You saw how proud he was of that? Yeah, the dark web. Yeah, the dark web. He was so proud of that. So proud that, he was lurking in those dark corners of the internet. Unbelievable.
So I'm sure you know what I'm referring to without me having to name them.
Okay.
So I'm just telling you that all that shit exists out there. Oh, by the way, this I sped through this 2-hour YouTube video, and your former roommates at the townhome that you rented have ratted you out in ways, and fabricated stories about a shared network drive and video that had been recorded, and supposedly approached your mother about them, threatening to disclose you in these videos, and that we paid them off, which was total bullshit. We've never heard about this until...
I'm conflicted on these stories about the whole finding stuff, even though we know that Stearns has the ability to do these things because he did it with Maddie. I'm always skeptical when I hear stories like this from people, because it's like, you're admitting to us that you found CSAM and other materials on Stearns' computer, but then you decided to take a payoff instead of calling the cops. To me, you're disgusting. You're just as bad as Stearns. So I don't care about what these folks have to say. I don't particularly believe it, to be honest with you, because it's like, hey, look at me. I knew Stearns. I have bad character, and he does too. Let me tell you a story about Stephen Stearns' bad character, and in the process of me telling you the story about Stephen Stearns' bad character, I'm going to show you just how much of bad character I have myself. Does that make any sense to you guys? I'm sounding like that detective in Florida. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? That's how she said it, right? Does that make sense? I can't even get my voice up that high. I'm going to tell you a story about Stephen Stearns having pictures, naked pictures of roommates and CSAM and all that stuff on his computer. And then I'm going to finish the story by explaining to you how I aided and abetted in a Class A felony by taking a bribe, extortion from his mother, and then aiding them in destroying the evidence that could have gotten Stephen Stearns sent to jail at that point and save Maddie's life. Because conceivably, we could say safely that if Stephen Stearns would have got turned into the police when these people alleged that they found all this material on his computer, he probably would have never met Jen Soto. He probably would have never took Maddie's life. He probably would have been under some type of supervision and taken nobody's life. So I'm not a big fan. I appreciate the creator who got that information and did those interviews. It's not on the creator. This is on the character of the people who actually gave the interview. You're telling us that you took a bribe in order not to turn Stephen Stearns into the authorities when you found the worst examples of abuse on his computer. To me, you're a piece of ish too. You don't have my respect. And so I'm kind of with the Stearns on this one. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Because you're asking me to believe one set of people with bad character over another person with bad character. Who am I going to believe? I could step in one pile of dung, or I could go step in another pile of dung. It doesn't matter. They're both piles of dung. That's just my take on it. Let's keep going.
These videos and these asshole friends of yours have managed to get themselves on these YouTube channels and disclose all sorts of shit. Because I can tell you this, if any one of them, and we know who we're talking about, had come to us with that, we would have told them, feel free to do whatever you want We're not paying you jack shit. If somebody had done something, I suggest you pursue it with them or the authorities, but don't bring this up to our attention ever again. I can assure you that we would not have paid off anybody. It wouldn't have been our problem, and we wouldn't have paid for it, period.
So my former roommates are trying to blackmail you into paying them off?
No, they're claiming that.
No, keep up, Stearns. I think they're very clear about what they spoke about. But anyway, bada bing with a 149 super sticker. Thank you.
They had supposedly come to us and blackmailed us, and that we paid them money, which they've described it in two events, one at a restaurant, and then your mother supposedly showing up at the townhome with a manila envelope. And you and I know, and we all know, that is bullshit.
Yeah.
It didn't happen, didn't exist, never did it.
It never happened.
And if they had done that, I would have said, go ahead and do whatever you want. You're not getting a penny from me. It's not my problem.
Listen, some people are saying, oh, I believe it. Hey, it might have happened. My point in saying is that I try and have integrity in my life. And if somebody's recording my loved one or I find some material on a computer, I'm not going to take a bribe. I'm not going to take a bribe. We need to go to the authorities or we need to handle this like men. Either way, they're roommates. They can handle it like men without the cops being called. I'm not in any way advocating vigilantism or violence. I'm just saying, like, if they decided to handle it like men, they could have handled it like men. When it comes to him recording the girlfriend who was of age, my understanding from my mind's eye is that they had also found in a separate instance compromising material, and they took money for that too. But that was a long time ago. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember. But anyway, that's beside the fact. Let's keep going.
So don't even come to me with it, period.
Are they aware that blackmail and coercion is also illegal?
Well, it's kind of a moot point when you're looking at the number of years ago this was, and right now it's their word, it's hearsay, but I'm just telling you what these amateur sleuths are repeating. Matter of fact, they even said that we owned the townhome, which we didn't.
We've been living in $1 million homes, and you were a spoiled, rotten kid because of it. And I'm thinking, we've never been in $1 million homes.
But anyway, I'm just telling you the bullshit that goes on out there, which is why I don't pay attention to these YouTube videos. But I'm just telling you, your former roommates have, done a nice job of sabotaging or discrediting your character and what have you. So. Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, throwing you under the bus and what have you. But I'm just relating this story of that.
I don't know if you could say people are jumping on bandwagons, even the people who are making these statements about them, whether they're true or not. Your son is a monster. And somebody said in the chat that it sounds to them like Chris Stearns is basically, he knows that the phone calls are being recorded and he's trying to rehabilitate his image. I think that might be something that's going on too. We have a saying in the islands, beggars can't be choosers. Well, we could use that same saying and change the words out and say, pedo murderers can't be, what can't they be? Can't be asking for mercy. Can't be asking, to not be spoken about. I butchered that. It doesn't matter. Like, look what he did. Like, that whole family should not be talking about what anybody's doing on the internet, what anybody's saying about. There's no way of denigrating Stephen Stearns' character. He's done a great job of that on his own. It's over for him. It's done. Finito. There's no way that his character could be any more flawed than it's already been flawed based off of his actions. He deserves no grace. Look what he did. The choices he made, the actions he took. He's got to own that. Hit that like button, people. Please hit the like button, support the channel so we get to a wider audience. Let's keep going.
Been repeated a few times about some video being recorded in the townhome, and that they came to us requesting, and we pleaded with them not to disclose it, and we paid them off, which is just absolute bullshit.
You should be very careful about that because they're seriously opening themselves up to a lawsuit for defamation.
Well, it takes money to sue somebody, and you have to prove it. And so no one's going to take a case like that pro bono, and it's not worth chasing. And you have to prove damages, and we haven't suffered any damages. But I'm just telling you the bullshit that's floating out there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, you know, they've done their search, and they've discovered some of these websites that you've subscribed to, participated in, or what have you. So I'm just giving you a heads up that they are leaving no stone unturned as they go down a rat hole chasing this shit.
Crazy.
Yep. Yep.
Don't even try to figure out why they did it, because we can't figure out why they did it, except
Who did it?
the roommate.
Okay. All right, we moved on past that.
Yeah, but the thing is that
Yeah, he was very dismissive to this woman. He said, yeah, we moved on past that, okay?
these YouTube sites give people a chance to talk with complete immunity, because they never check them, they never fact check them. They don't care about the facts. They just care about getting people to click on and pay them money for the YouTube site. So,
and supposedly these hosts of these YouTube channels pay these people to provide this information as well. So whatever that's worth.
and some roommate.
Oh yeah, the roommate. That's really funny. So reading this interview of the former roommate said that both you and were grossly overweight, and you both had gastric bypass. I mean, I'm just telling you, this shit is just what I don't. They didn't disclose her name, okay? But you know, to say that you had gastric bypass, which you've never had, and that you were grossly overweight, which you never were, again, is the bullshit that's just floating out there on these YouTube channels.
Well, had gastric bypass, but
Yep.
it's not a big deal these days.
Understand. But they're saying that you had it, you know?
And they're saying that she refused to take her bipolar meds, which she was very forgetful, you know, and didn't do a lot. But they were saying that it was not ADHD, but they thought she was autistic. And like going, no, she wasn't.
It was a question mark. You know, you had one doctor saying that she was possibly on the spectrum, another saying, no, it doesn't seem like it, she's just ADHD. And other doctors didn't know. So it was a question mark.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a three-ring circus out there with these YouTube channels, which is why I don't watch them. Your mother doesn't watch them, but every now and then somebody sends us a link to something. And like I said, I sped viewed it, and you know, came away with a little bit of information and a lot of bad information, misinformation, inaccurate information. But it is what it is, and so I'm not going to bother with it. You know, you have to consider the source and the validity of it, and everybody's highly speculative about whatever they come across, and then they try to make something monumental out of it that just doesn't exist, you know.
I don't know how they can even find jurors that haven't listened to some of this crap.
Yeah.
They can't.
It's tainted. It's tainted. The whole thing is tainted.
You know, I have to say it, like, the Sterns are delusional. They're literally trying to view this case in a vacuum, like we aren't dealing with the fact that they found 1,700 images and videos of their biological son defiling and obliterating this young woman, this youngster. That's what they're pretending like it's like that didn't happen. They're literally trying to pretend, as they speak to Stephen STERNS, as though he wasn't the first and the last person to see Maddie in that house on that fateful day and night. You got to make it make sense. Nothing that they're saying right now makes any sense. They're deflecting and they're blaming everybody for their troubles except for the person who brought this down on their home. Nobody knew who the STERNS were circa January 2024. Nobody knew who they were. Nobody knew who they were on February 1st, 2024. Nobody knew who they were on February 10th, 2024. We found out who they were the moment that their son decided to take that little girl's life. And the moment they decided to defend him and support him. Now, the docket said that they're no longer talking to him and no longer supporting him. Okay, good for them. It's good that you had that coming home to Jesus moment where you decided that this is not what we need to do. It's unfortunate that it took you many, 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 many months of having these type of unfortunate and inappropriate conversations with Stephen before you realized that. And unfortunately for you, it's been documented. But that whole family needs a lesson in accountability. You have to be held accountable for your choices and your actions. Your son did something he can't take back. He took the life of an innocent child. He has to be held to bear for those choices. And you guys chose to support him in the manner by which you supported him. Nobody made you do it. You chose to do it. You got to own that too. Let's keep going.
Now,
Yeah, they might have to shop it out to a different venue, but even at that point, I think it's going to be hard to find anyone who hasn't heard about Holders.
Yeah.
well, that's true. And the minute they do hear about it, they're going to go in, and even though they're not supposed to, they're going to go in and check the internet, and they're going to see these things. They're going to believe this stuff because they don't know the difference between truth and non-truth.
Fact and fiction.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, if I go in and say, you people are idiots. You know this never happened, and I can't do that because it won't do you good.
You don't want to engage with it.
So, no, don't want to give them. They're not worthy of the merit of any comments, and they can just enjoy themselves. And then when the truth comes out, then they'll have to do a lot of backtracking. Yeah, right.
What's the truth? What is the truth? I mean, I don't know about other channels, but the only truth I care about is what happened with Maddie. I don't really live in the world of, what they paid this person off for and all that stuff. I mean, I know they're not talking to me directly, but I'm inserting myself in the conversation, obviously, because I'm reacting to this. But I don't focus on that ancillary stuff. I'm focused on Madeline Soto and Stephen STERNS. So what's the truth between them? We know what the truth is. We know what the truth is.
Right. Okay. Sure. But anyway.
I will tell you this, Stephen. You know that we're saved people. You know that we're Christians, and you know that these people came to us many times for help in their living situations, and you know that we helped all of them. I don't understand why these kids think it's so wonderful to jump on this bandwagon and crucify us when we were there for them when they needed us. I don't understand that.
Because we have fallings out for various reasons, and they can't resist the temptation to kick me while I'm down because they think they can do it with impunity.
Absolutely.
She
They
said
didn't
that
have
they
the balls to
Christian.
do it on the street.
She said they're Christians. Do you believe them? I don't know.
What's that?
So they didn't have the balls to do it while it was free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they were jealous. You know who was always the one with the little, very, very something on his back, the mouth. He was always so jealous of you. He's so jealous of you. And
he sabotaged me at every turn. I mean, if you remember when I was working Quiznos, I was in line for management, so he started working there. Then suddenly everyone's attitude towards me changed, and he became the manager.
Yeah.
well, that's what he does.
And, there were people in our friends group who, for some reason, were under the impression that I was a complete moron.
Well, they should check your IQ score.
Check his IQ
I know
score.
he was backstabbing and trying to put himself above me at every opportunity.
Yeah.
Found
That's
out
because
a
it
while
was
back
on
that he was even stealing my possessions and selling them.
This is what he's jealous of.
Like what?
Airsoft guns. I mean, my street board went missing. A lot of my Pokemon cards went missing.
That's what he's jealous of right there.
There's the one missing.
What are you talking about when you guys were roommates? He was stealing your stuff and selling it?
Yep.
It's a man's man right there.
No surprise.
Nope.
I believe that.
He needed to support his lifestyle somehow, and did the same thing with his parents' crap too. So,
Yeah.
what else?
I know he peddled his dad's pills.
Yeah, he was a first class citizen. We all know that, which is why he got kicked out of his house.
Yep. And
Yeah.
anyway, I'm going to call you back in 15 minutes if I can, because we got the 1 minute thing.
All right, later.
Okay, bye.
The time is
All right.
8:19 p.m.
Hey, sweetie.
All right. We'll stop it there. We got to stop it there, guys. We have to. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. And I will be rushing to get to work. I wouldn't even have time to eat lunch. I got to eat lunch. I got to get to work. You know, we got to stop it there. Let's take some quick calls real quick. Take 3 calls. 3 calls. That's it. 3 is the magic number. 3 calls. 3 calls. Let me get that phone number up real quick. And let's get rocking and rolling. Lines are open, so if you do have the number saved, you can call in right now. You'll be the first one. Let's see who's quick. See who still has that phone number. They're like, nah, it's not that important, strategic. We don't keep that phone number, buddy. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and bring this screen back to me. Oh, okay. What's going on, caller? Welcome to True Crime Strategic. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, that was fast. This is Sarah from Oregon. How you doing?
Hey, what's happening, Sarah? What's going on?
Really enjoyed this show today.
Yeah,
But
appreciate it.
I was writing like mad while you were talking and smiling like you do. When he said, when he said, I found her in the state she was in. Let me turn this down. Sorry about that.
Sure. Be great.
Hang on one second. I'm so sorry. So
Uh-huh.
sorry. Okay. It said, he found her in the state that she was in
Okay.
after everything else was said and done.
Uh-huh.
That's the truth, right?
It is the truth.
I guess technically he found her in that state when he was done doing everything he did.
Right. That's why I said that this is a partial
Yeah.
confession. Absolutely.
I totally agreed with you when you
Right.
said that. And then it also, by talking about, at dawn, that
Mhm.
also puts it right on the timeline of when she passed away and
Mhm.
where she passed away, which would have been in that room
Right.
with him at the house.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But man, his parents are in some serious denial.
They are.
A family of delusional people. But great show, very informative. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You too. What's going on, caller? Give me 1 second. Yeah, great call from Sarah. She made some really good points. And yeah, they're very delusional, man. What's going on, caller? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Welcome to True Crime Strategic.
Hi, my name is Karina. I'm calling from Vegas.
All right, Las Vegas. What's happening? I went to Vegas. I like it. It's a real nice town.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Now, I had a question, though. When you listen to those tapes, you can hear the parents kind of like trying to allude, obviously, that Jen has something to do with it, trying to like implement her, or
Right.
maybe it's not even true. Can they get in trouble for doing stuff like that or not?
No, that's just their opinion. If they don't have any material evidence to it, which if they did, they probably would have shared it. No, they can't get in trouble for that at all. I just don't feel that Stephen Stearns has the goods. I think that Jen kind of knew, but she's like hands off, like, just do what you do. I don't really need to know much about it. I don't care. That's the impression that I get. I don't get the impression that like Jen was in the room participating while this stuff was happening. Because I think if he had that information, he'd have gave it up already. But go ahead.
Do you think he mentioned that whole situation like, oh, she always said that she was worried that her daughter was going to leave, with me or whatever? Do you think he's saying that like because his lawyers are telling him that's something that's being said online?
No, I this was from last year. This was before we got that information.
Oh, that's true.
This is
So that
before.
must really be
Yeah,
true then.
this is real. This is real conversations. Jen admitted it. And remember, that's not what was said online. That's what Jen said out her mouth. She said the Woody Allen
Right.
effect. So Jen said it. He said it in a vacuum, without even knowing that Jen said it. This is recording from 2024. You know, this is real conversations that they had.
That's definitely corroborating that,
Mm-hmm.
Statement and stuff. So, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to come on and ask those questions. Thanks so much for doing what you do. And I'm so proud that they brought you up on the trial today. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was definitely insane, man. I appreciate that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for calling.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
All right, man. Man, we kind of made it. No, we ain't make nothing. I mean, they did say my name with plunder. I'm in good company, baby. What's going on, caller? Welcome to True Common Strategic. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is P Paradox at 90 from Buffalo, New York.
Hey, what's happening? How's the snow out there? Is it snowing out there in Buffalo?
No, it's actually nice. For here, it's like 50 degrees.
Awesome, awesome. What you got for me?
So I watched this on Plunder first all the way through, and then I came here. I was happy that you posted it because your commentary is really unparalleled.
Oh, I appreciate that.
When I first watched this on Plunder, it didn't really occur to me. I didn't really connect that he's already been in jail for 3 months at this point.
Correct.
So, 10 years ago, I did a couple of days in jail here and there, a little misdemeanor.
She's a bad
And like,
girl.
if you've
She
never
a bad
been to jail
girl.
before,
She a bad girl. Go ahead. I'm sorry. If you've never been to jail before,
no,
what
it's
happened?
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had never been to jail before, so, you can understand that's a shock, you know what I mean? It's like, the feeling of having your freedom totally taken away, and you really this guy's delusional. He thinks he can have a silicone mattress shipped in and get overnighted mail, and his mom later says that, can we call the mail room and get your books sped up?
Come on.
But my point being, after about 2 days, I kind of got with the program and realized okay, this is jail. No one thinks you're special. The best thing to do is keep your head down, shut up, and go with the program. So when I was first listening to these calls, I kind of thought oh, he just got there and he's not adjusted.
Right.
But no, this is 3 months in.
Right.
After 3 months, you still don't realize what's going on, and his parents still haven't gotten with the program.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the difference between him and you is you made a mistake. You were there, but you weren't a megalomaniac, narcissistic, beast.
Oh, no.
So
Yeah,
he can't
not at all,
comprehend
but-
this. He just can't comprehend his situation. He still thinks he's going to go free. So he's thinking.
and his parents really can't either. Well, I think they can. They just choose not to.
Right. And parents shape, to a certain extent, their children. So hence we see why Stephen STERNS is who Stephen STERNS is. Look at the environment that he was raised in, an environment that lacks accountability. That's what I think it was.
Absolutely. I'm going to say 2 more things real quick. And one of them was, some people have said, well, parents have unconditional love for their children. And yeah, most parents do, as they should. But there's a difference between unconditional love and unconditional support and enabling. Like I said, I was in there for some stupid little shit, and I called my mom. And first of all, I wanted to let her know, why my phone was off. And I said, my bail was like $250. I said, Mom, is there any way you can bail me out? And she said, I love you, but no. And I'm close with my mom. And she said, you made a choice, and that's where you are. And that's that. And, I always really respected my mom for that.
Right.
Because she taught me accountability. Do you know what I mean? And, yeah, it's like they, you can love your children unconditionally, but, if God forbid I had a son and he had done something like this, I may still write him a letter or something, but I wouldn't be on there the dad's joking, is it better accommodations and concierge service? And, they're joking about, all this stuff. And it's like, you're ignoring the elephant in the room, which is, the reality of your son and what he did.
Right.
You know, and like, you know, sending him money on demand. I calculated on Plunder. They sent him like over $200 in 2 weeks at least.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, and I think, you know, they know this is being watched. They know it's being recorded. They know it's being posted. And if they think that this gave them a better image, they are insane.
Right.
You know, I've been following all the videos on your channel, and this was the wildest this is the wildest one I've seen yet.
Right. No, I agree with you. I'm going to wrap it up, though. I want to catch the next call. I appreciate you, all right?
Thank you. I appreciate you taking my call,
No
and I'm
worries.
going to continue watching your channel. Thank
you so much. Hey, what's going on, caller? Welcome to True Crime Strategic. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Toller from Illinois.
What's up, Elizabeth? How you doing?
Good.
Perfect.
So I wanted to say, first of all, you know, how his mom is completely delusional talking to him. But do you notice the dad sometimes, I think without the mom, the dad would say some things, hold him accountable to things. Do you hear that?
Yeah, because we've seen it before. We've seen him. You'll hear that throughout these 13 calls we're going to go to. We just did 3 today, so we got 10 remaining. You'll see him say these slick things. And in the calls that were released before, we saw him kind of hold Stephen STERNS accountable. Like, do you not understand what the charges you're facing? Like, he does that multiple times when it's just him talking. Yeah, I kind of get the feeling, I don't know these people, and I don't really care to know them, but I get the feeling like he's old and it's like, it's a wrap, it's over. It's too late to leave. You know what I mean?
About, did you catch the gastro? He didn't tell them that he had it.
I don't know if he ever did. I've never looked into it that badly. I've never seen a picture of him fat, though.
When they said it, I kind of do think so. No, we don't know. But I kind of do, because when the mom said, they're trying to say you had this.
But where you get, you have to be morbidly obese for insurance or Medicaid to pay for that stuff. Like, we're talking about, for him, he has to be like 350, 400 pounds, and he doesn't have money. So why is he, why would he spend $20,000 out of his pocket to pay for that surgery?
Yeah, you're right. The reason I thought so was because when Deb said it, he said, well, and that's not really a big deal nowadays, you know? Like, it sounded like he didn't tell him, but he was going to kind of stick up for it.
I mean, even if you go to, like, I had a friend who went, and I was telling her, I was like, don't get that surgery, you know, because people die off of that stuff. She was going to a different country.
You're right.
Even in Colombia, she still had to pay $10,000 in Colombia.
Wow.
Like, that's the discount place she went to. It still cost $10,000. In America, we're talking about $35,000 to $50,000.
Right.
I have
a friend that got dangerously sick from that.
Yeah, this is dangerous stuff. I don't believe that. This guy would have to been close to 400 pounds. Appreciate you for calling, though.
All right, good talking to you.
All right, you got it. All right. All right, anybody else? One more call and we'll call it a day. One more call. I'm going to move for one more call. I don't want to say we're making good time because that must sound like Stephen STERNS. we are on schedule, and I can take one more call and then go and do the things I need to do before I go to work. But if nobody else calls, it's cool. I just saw a few people trying to call in while I was on that call. You do have an opportunity to get your word in if you'd like to. We'd love to hear from you. One last call, and then we're going to end it, or no more calls, and then we'll end it. All right. You guys got like maybe 10 more seconds. If the call doesn't come in, we'll go ahead and end the show. Lots of good callers, though, so very, very happy, very appreciative of who did call in. All right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Closing the application right now. Oh, somebody did call, and I just missed the call. I closed the application. I'm sorry. I saw the call coming in, and the X was already hit, and the application closed. So I'm sorry for that caller who tried to call in. Please do call in next time, and we'll definitely take your call. So, guys, we had a really good show. We had a really good visitor to the show. Plunder popped in. You know, I love Plunder, and I shot her all the time. I love Grizzly. I love them both. They are both very important to me as I go on this true crime journey, setting up my own true crime channel. And it doesn't matter where true crime takes me, how big we may become or how small we may become. I don't know. I will never forget the two people who inspired me to go on this journey, and that would be Plunder and Grizzly. So I have infinite love for them. And I do appreciate Plunder popping in and showing me love. That was really nice and very kind of her. So once again, we use her material very often. We use Grizzly's material as well. I would implore you guys that if you like true crime and you don't have those folks as a part of your subscription feed, that you are definitely missing out as true crime connoisseurs. You have to have Plunder on your subscription feed, and you have to have Grizzly on your subscription feed. All right. My dream one day would be that all of us could be in one room and have a really nice conversation. That would be my dream one day. So when you guys get me to 1 million subscribers and I become the king of true crime, I will use my kingly powers to bring in the two queens of true crime into the same room and have a little discussion for you guys, because I think that'd be a really awesome interview, a really awesome group discussion, to have these two powerful brains and beautiful souls in one room and just pick their brains as to what motivates you to get up every day and do what you do. I know what motivates me, but I'd love to know what motivates these two beautiful ladies. So anyway, guys, on that note, I really appreciate you guys supporting me today. And please make sure you hit that like button on your way out the door. And also, guys, we do have a membership and a Patreon where we put exclusive content on the membership and the Patreon. We'd love it if you guys would decide to support us on our Patreon and our membership by hitting those corresponding links and signing up to those, what do we call them? Bonus materials, frills, I don't know, whatever. I'll see you guys in the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.